Thanks for buying this VHS, and in this series, we're going to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Now, first things first, let's get used to the cube. We'll name this one Gregory. As you can see, there's 6 sides and 6 colors. And one of the most important things to note is how you twist it. The center never moves. So this is always the yellow side, this is always the orange side, this is always the blue side, etc., etc. And on each corner, you'll see each one has 3 sides, and the correct orientation is this color will always match whatever's in the center. Similarly, on these sides here, it's only 2, but they will always match the center. And this is the core to understanding how the cube is laid out. In order to get the first step, I think it's best we start with a scrambled cube. Perfect. Now let's start with phase 1. So phase 1 consists of solving this top layer. There are 3 phases because there's 3 layers. We'll solve this, get this completely white. That's going to be the base color we start with. Then we'll solve this one, and then move on to this one. Now the top one is the easiest phase. This one is a little more complicated, and this one you just have to really hold on tight for the adventure. Now for the first phase, what do? This is white, so we want all of these to be white as well. So the easiest way to start is to make a cross of white colors. So that means like this would be green, and this will be white. So we look around on the cube to see where we can find our next white. Oh, look, there it is, green, white. Now it's near, but these are wrong. So how do we fix that? Well, let's rotate this until it's next to the green. Now why is that? It's because when we bring it down, you've got that lined up. But we're going to need to rotate it one more time. Now you see, these 2 colors are linked, and these 2 colors are linked. And that's what you're going to want to go do all around this. Now we're lucky here because this got solved by itself. So that helps us do one phase, but look, these are off. So let's fix that. So let's go 1. Now it's on this side, and you can see that if you rotate this, they'll be next to each other. And that white's there. So now we have to bring it up here. So we just twist it. You can see how the cross is starting to come together. We just have one more. Now where did it go? Here it is. Now it's on this side already, so that's a good step. But if you notice up here, if you twist it, ah man, so how do we fix that? Well, we've got one empty space here. So why don't we rotate it once? That way, when you do your spinning right here, you don't move anything away. Now we can move this back. And so everything you'll see is lined up except for this guy. But if we rotate it, nothing else gets messed up. So here we have our cross, and then if you take a look, right there, good, right there, good, good, and good. So the cross is set. Now we need the next part, which takes a little bit of finesse, but not too much. All right, phase 2, finesse. What I want to show you here is, remember how I mentioned that each of these corners, there's 3 colors, and the 3 colors should match here, here, and here? Well, that's what we're going to try to find out. So let's kind of take a look here. Okay, we've got white. We know we want white on top. We've got orange, which is here. We've got green, which is here. So we know that this piece somehow magically moves up here and will be in the right spot. How do we do that? Well, this takes a little bit of 3D space thinking inside your brain and a little bit of twisting here. So this one's going to be easy because it's actually already lined up in the right way. This should always face that direction. So you want the color to be on top to be facing out that way, which if you see, it is. Now how do we get it up there? Well, that might be a little confusing, but if you move this down and you see this white face, it's still facing that way, but it's on the back side. So think about how this would rotate in the world. So if you turn it this way, see how they're touching each other, and voila, you've got a pair right here. But it's not up here yet, and you got this white guy, but you can ignore that. So let's bring this cross back together. Move it up, and you see you've got a pair here, and this section is all good. Now, how do we do that for the other spots? Let's ignore this guy for now. We'll go down here. You've got another one on the bottom. Nope. Yes. Okay, so here we go. So even though these aren't matching on the same sides, it's still the 3 colors that you need. But this guy's on the bottom. Now, how do you make it so it's over here or over here? Well, if we twist it down, it's kind of shooting out the back. But if you rotate it this way, it's now shooting off to that side. And it may not be aligned with this yet, so why don't we move it forward one more time? So both of these are facing you. And then move this guy back up. Now you're like, well, that was confusing. But if you turn it this way, remember I said this side should shoot out this way, and it is. So if you move it down again, this side is now moved to the back, and it's shooting out that way. So remember, we brought the other one back this way, and they paired up. So now all you have to do is move it back up, and you've got this bit right here. And you've done this bit before, so we've got 2 more to go. Oh, here we go. We've got an orange, a blue, and a white, and conveniently, they're in their same spots. Remember how I said ignore this guy? Let's continue to do that. Now if you remember from the previous step we did, we moved it down so it's shooting out the back. Then we twisted it so both of these are looking at us. Then you move this up, and we're going to move that this way so it looks that way. And remember, when you rotate down, it moves to the back and still looks out this way. That way, when you move it forward, bring it up, you've got the pair, you've got the pair, you've got the pair. So now we've got 3 corners in the right spot. I've got one that's not there. And you can see, by a miracle, it's right underneath where it needs to go. If it weren't, you would just rotate it until it's under the shape that it needs to be. Right now, we need this guy to go here. So I'm going to do this a little quickly because it's still the same way. And it moves to the back and move forward. And there you go. The top is all solved.
You've unlocked the first part of the dark 3-part mysteries of the Rubik's Cube. Take a moment and let it integrate into your DNA. And then continue watching for the second episode, where we will solve the middle part of the cube, followed right after by the last part, and then you'll know everything.
It's dog.